Okay, here is the second part of the lecture for section 3.5, the harder ones. I'm going to give you some rules to help. These are the last few problems. This is for 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. These are calculator problems. And how you do it. You basically, the steps, well, here, let me erase this. So, here's what you do. Step number 1. Change to positive, hit inverse sign of positive 5/8. Get your first answer. Well, get the answer from that. And this is first quadrant. When you change to positive like that, you get the first quadrant answer. That's what you're getting. So here's the method for doing these. So the first thing you need to do is you need to, see how they gave me negative 5/8 here? I'm really going to change it to positive 5/8. Hit inverse sign on my calculator and get the answer. Here, let me actually get it. Make sure you're in radian mode. So in radian mode, I'm in radian mode. I'm going to hit inverse sign of positive 5/8. And I get 0.6, how many places do they want? 4 places. 0.675, well, I'll give one more place. I'll give 5 places. 0.67513. That's the answer. Now, that's not the real answer because I changed it to positive 5/8. That's the first quadrant answer. Then, find the real two answers in the correct two quadrants. What am I talking about? I'm talking about all students take calculus. So this question is, where is sine of x negative, right? Negative 5/8 negative. Where's the sine of x negative? Well, sine, all are positive here, sine is positive here. So these two quadrants, sine is negative and sine is negative because tangent is positive and cosine is positive. So sine is negative in the third and fourth quadrants. So that means the real two answers, for this question anyway, are in the third and fourth quadrants. So the answer is not really 0.67513, but I'm going to use that to find the real two answers in the third and fourth quadrants. How do you do it? Well, remember that's the reference angle. So therefore you've got to take pi to find the reference angle, add 0.67513, I'm running out of room there, pi add 0.67513 to get the third quadrant answer, and over here 2 pi minus 0.67513 to get the third quadrant. Let me just give you the rule here. To get the second quadrant answer, it's always pi minus the answer you got first. To get a third quadrant, so this is the quadrant, third quadrant is always pi plus the answer. Fourth quadrant is always 2 pi minus the answer. So you start with the original minus the first answer, the first quadrant answer. So you start by getting your first quadrant answer. You make whatever they gave you positive, get your first quadrant answer, 0.67513. Then you find the real two quadrants. That'd be the third quadrant and the fourth quadrant. And then those are your real two answers. So the real two answers are pi plus 0.67513 and pi, or 2 pi, minus 0.67513. So use the pi button on your calculator. I'm going to do that right now. I'm getting 3.81, four places they said. 3.8167. The other one is going to be 2 pi minus 0.67513. The other one is 5.6081. Those are the two answers on that one. Okay, let's try this one, number 14. So Same thing, this is a calculator one. How do I know? Round to 4 decimal places. So I know it's a calculator problem. So come on up here. Take 3 sine squares. I'm going to add the 1 to the other side. Equals 1. Divide by 3. Remember how we handle sine squared or anything squared. We just get the squared alone like that. And then what do? We put a root over and plus or minus. So this cancels. So I get sine of x is plus root of 1/3. And sine of x is minus root 1/3. Two separate answers. Okay, so what do? What are the rules I just gave you back over here? I said, number 1, change to positive, hit sine inverse, get your first quadrant answer. So let's start with that. So first quadrant answer. Now, it's changed to plus. These are the same numbers. One's just positive, one's just negative. So when I change to plus, they're the same thing. So I just need sine inverse of positive root 1/3. So hit the buttons on your calculator. Make sure you're in radian mode again. So sine inverse of the square root, don't forget square root, of 1/3. And I'm getting 0.615. I'm going to use 5 places. Well, I'll use it a little bit more. 4797. 0.615, 4797. Yeah, that's my first quadrant. That's the first quadrant answer. First quad. Now, then you've got to turn that into 2 answers in the 2 quadrants they need. Well, how do you know which quadrants? Well, for this one here, let's divide the wall right here. For this one, we're saying sine is positive. Where's sine positive? All students take calculus. First quadrant and second quadrant. Sine is positive. So they want a first quadrant, second quadrant answer. So they want the first one. So that's just the 0.615. I'll round it to 5. And they want the second quadrant. How do you always get the second quadrant? I wrote back here. Second quadrant answers is pi minus your first answer. So you can put that in your 3 by 5 card. Pi minus 0.6155. Let's see what I got. Second pi minus 0.6155. I'm getting 2.5261. Okay? And that's because in the second quadrant, see, look at a little map here. In the second quadrant, if you're in the second quadrant and you're referencing, remember this first quadrant answer we always get, this 0.6155, that's the reference from 0. So if you do the same angle from the x-axis in the second quadrant, it's back 0.6155 from pi. That's why it's pi minus 0.6155. Now for the other side, over here, the sign is negative. Negative. Where's sign negative? Third and fourth, because all students take calculus. All students take calculus. So sign is positive and all are positive here. So third and fourth quadrant, sign is negative. So we're talking about third and fourth. How do you do third quadrant answer? Well, looking back at these steps, I said third is pi plus the first answer, the first quadrant answer. So it's pi plus 0.6154797. And I'm getting pi plus 0.6154797. I'm getting 3.7571. Whoops, getting kind of scribbly there. And for the fourth quadrant answer, I wrote the instructions over here. Fourth is, oh boy, I just erased it, is 2 pi minus your first answer. 2 pi minus your first answer. So that'll be 2 pi minus 0.6154797. So take 2 times pi minus 0.6154797, and I'm getting 5.6677. So that answer, this answer, and this answer. 4 answers. There they are. Do you see why the third and the fourth quadrant thing works? Because if you're in the third quadrant, you're pi plus the angle from the x-axis. And if you're in the fourth quadrant, you're 2 pi subtract the angle that's off the x-axis. The reference angle is the angle off the x-axis. So third quadrant is pi plus the angle off the x-axis. Fourth quadrant is 2 pi minus the angle off the x-axis. Second quadrant is pi back up, subtract the angle off the x-axis, the original reference angle off the x-axis in the first quadrant. That's what works. All right, I hope that helps.